So, as most of you know, these whole series of presentations that I and you have been creating have been fleshing out this notion of the lightning path. Um, and in today's focus, it's on the lightning path astrology. So, as we go into this, I'm putting an emphasis on the archetypal uh, mode of astrology here. And it's my sense that there are ways for us to bridge in consciousness to the ancients through archetypes, through astrology as a matrix of archetypal symbolism. This is like a timeless channel into the wisdom of the ancients. So a core concept of what I call lightning path astrology is that there are as many astrologies as there are astrologers.
Yeah.
And it's with this premise in mind that I share with you my own rather novel approach to this ancient art. So I've, being a moon in Aries and a sun in Aquarius, I tend to break things up and just take the pieces that I know are going to work for me. Rather than submitting myself to some kind of astrological canon where all the rules are laid out. So it's a very adventurous approach to astrology, let's say. I really emphasize and encourage people to be their own astrologers, really get in and begin to understand the principles behind it all. You'll get way more out of it. That's been my experience anyway. So since the dawn of civilization, astrology has played a unique role in bridging ancient wisdom to modern eras. At the core of this bridging have been the archetypes, the universal symbols and themes representing fundamental aspects of human consciousness. Archetypes are the innate transcultural patterns that shape how humans perceive, interpret, and interact with the world. In the modern era, the concept is deeply influenced by the work of Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, who identified archetypes as primal, universal symbols residing in what he called the collective unconscious. And I love this quote from Jung. Astrology represents the summation of all the psychological knowledge of antiquity.
Mm-hmm.
From a psychologist. So I see the natal birth chart as a mandala of personal selfhood. And by focusing on that mandala and then linking other symbols other than the symbols of astrology, by linking those other archetypal symbols, we're able to really broaden the domain of exploration. And this really is an exploration. I mean, so much of this in our modern era is brand new, and this notion of linkage, lightning path astrology portrays archetypes as both astrological symbols, such as planets, zodiac signs, and aspects, and mythological figures. A key mythological figure is the feathered serpent, revered in Mesoamerican society for bringing knowledge, peace, and love. This archetype integrates the ancient Mayan Tzolk'in calendar, linking its numbers and hieroglyphs to a person's birth chart. By understanding and integrating these archetypal energies, individuals can achieve greater self-awareness and psychological wholeness, aligning with their deepest or deeper potentials. So, harnessing the power of archetypes. By diving into the realm of archetypal knowledge, one discovers a wealth of invaluable advantages that extend far beyond mere understanding. From fostering self-awareness and psychological healing to offering guidance during challenging times, the benefits are manifold. Furthermore, attuning to these archetypes enhances creative expression, facilitates spiritual growth, improves relationships, and informs decisions, ultimately leading to a more enriched and fulfilling existence. Bottom line here, harnessing the power of archetypes can profoundly impact various aspects of life, unlocking deeper layers of meaning and purpose. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been fascinated with the Great Sphinx for many years. And if we look to the Sphinx as being an archetype of timeless balance, it really fulfills that role. And it's becoming increasingly important as a reference point in my life. And you'll see why shortly. Lightning Path astrology embraces the timeless wisdom encoded into the myths and symbols of other civilizations than the Mayan. Most notable in this regard is the Great Sphinx at Giza, Egypt. The Sphinx's unique combination of a human head representing intellect, wisdom, and consciousness, with the body of a lion symbolizing strength, power, and instinct, suggests a harmonious integration of contrasting archetypal elements. The Sphinx's form, with its poised and symmetrical posture, conveys a sense of stability and equilibrium. Additionally, its location at the entrance to the Giza Plateau, flanking the pyramids, further reinforces its role as a guardian and symbol of balance. Moreover, the Sphinx's enigmatic presence, enduring through millennia, reflects a timeless quality that underscores the notion of balance transcending time and space. In these ways, the Sphinx serves as a powerful representation of the archetypal principle of balance, embodying the harmonious integration of opposing forces and enduring stability. So for thousands of years, it's been bringing that to humanity. Now, this Sphinx and Giza is not the only sacred site that has a direct connection to equinox alignments. And that is exactly what the Sphinx is gazing upon, is this rise of the sun at the equinoxes, the spring equinox and the autumn equinox. So that's its fundamental orientation. Well, there's other civilizations throughout the planet where we find this same archetypal alignment showing up. Each of these, as I call them, universities in stone, shown in the following slides, reveals a sophisticated alignment with the equinoctial axis of the Earth, thereby displaying an understanding of the archetypal principle of cosmic harmony. In fact, deeper study of these and other sites like them is revealing evidence of the existence of a highly advanced Golden Age civilization of much greater antiquity than is commonly acknowledged. Chaco Canyon. I've had the great good fortune to have been at Chaco, not on the exact equinox alignment, but the day after. And really, I was still in the zone and appreciating this this site it was just the most sublime feeling of connectedness in a man-made creation that I'd ever encountered. And it was only later that I learned about this equinoctial alignment. But a fascinating, wonderful place if you ever get a chance to go. Really make the effort. Stonehenge, which I've not been to, but maybe some of you have, a prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, England, is aligned with the solstices and equinoxes. During the equinoxes, the sun rises precisely in the east and its rays shine through the stones, as we have here. This is a new site to my awareness, and I don't even know how to pronounce this, Nyandra, anyway, in Malta.
Anidra.
Menidra.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, I bet it felt good.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
There's something about sacred architecture that just it can be so penetrating and
Mhm.
so stilling, you know. So it has doorways that arise with the sunrise during the equinoxes, illuminating specific areas of the temples. Now, as I share that, just this morning, actually, I discovered it yesterday. Years ago, Teresa and I opened up a little room here in this house. It's an old house built in 1910. But at the back door, it was kind of cramped, and there was this little box area, and we actually put in a new doorway. We just
Mm.
whacked out a doorway. Well, I just discovered that at equinox, at the summer, I mean at the summer solstice where we are now, there's a sliver of light that comes in and spills across the boot shelf.
Oh,
So
great.
I I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this is only going to happen for the next 15 minutes. Like this is the sort of alignment that the ancients used to craft into their architecture. And it was just so, I mean, what an aha moment. I went and got all my crystals and put them in there, charge them up. This would be the spot. And I put a marker on I'm going to paint a marker on the boot shelf there because it was very alive. It gave me a whole new sense of what this home, which is situated in alignment with the cardinal directions. It's got, it's bang on east, north, west, south. So, yeah, what a great gift. Machu Picchu, the ancient Incan site of Machu Picchu, Peru, features structures aligned with the equinoxes. And this one's called the Intihuatana stone, which tracks the sun's position during equinoxes. Angkor Wat, Indonesia. The temple's central tower aligns with sunrise on the equinox. Other structures within the complex align with the solstices. So just a magnificent consolidation of astronomical knowledge and then weaving that into the culture in a mythic way. Wonderful. And one of my favorites, which I've yet to visit in the flesh, the pyramid of the feathered serpent at Chichen Itza. The Mayan pyramid of El Castillo, another name for it, at Chichen Itza, Mexico, is renowned for its equinox alignments. During the spring and autumn equinoxes, the setting sun casts shadows that create the illusion of a serpent descending the pyramid's steps. So there we see the pyramid in the center with the white. And thousands of people gather every equinox at this site to partake in this phenomenon. Yes, talk about bringing the energy of the Hunab Ku down to earth. This is designed to do that in a very real way. Kundalini activation. Now back to Giza and Graham Hancock and his wife Santha Fai, where the image of the Sphinx with the sun over top of it is one of her photographs. It's the only one I've ever encountered where someone caught this particular alignment, which is the fundamental alignment of the Sphinx. Looking due east at sunrise, that's what we have there. But apparently from at left, the pyramid of Khafre, photographed from the summit of the Great Pyramid, soon after dawn on the spring equinox. So Santha, had to have climbed up to the top of the major pyramid and then got this photo. And as Graham says, note the precision of the shadow cast due west. So it just gives you that entry point into the amazing architectural positioning that the ancients have put in place here. Now, years ago, probably 30 to 40 years ago, I started balancing an egg on its end, at least one egg, sometimes 10 eggs. But at the equinoxes, and I continue to do this, I balance an egg knowing that there's this panoply of sacred sites where that same orientation is being honored. And I have encouraged people to do this, and I even have a website. There it is, www.axisofequal.com. Check it out. It's documented a number of these equinox ceremonies that I've led, sometimes with a small group, a lot of times by myself. But what it does for me is gives me a resonant access into this ancient knowledge realm. And it's always been very fulfilling. And I still seem to be able to get the focus required to get that egg balancing. And as I say, I really encourage people to partake of this particular little ceremony. It's a way of very actively connecting with the wisdom of the ancients. So on the Axis of Equal website, it occurred to me that, in doing so, I'm declaring my my Earth communitarian. I'm an Earth person, and this is an Earth person's kind of ritual. You can do wherever you are, where you can grab an egg and go for it. But as you see, if you check it out and see some of the videos, I do have this image behind me here. This used to be a table, and so I did a 4 directions ritual around that table at the equinox. So there's an egg balanced at each of the 4 directions, and it's so like a make your own ceremony kind of moment, and just know, just allow yourself to open up to the vastness of the knowledge base that you're plugging into. So the Sphinx's gaze has, as I say, it's become more and more. It's more and more in my awareness, and this last 2 weeks, I've really focused in on it, and this is what's been coming forth. So we're looking here now directly towards the sunrise at the east at the equinox, and this is the delineation between Aries on the one hand and Pisces on the other. This is where Aries and Pisces meet at what we generally call 0 Aries. So this is the start of any journey around the zodiac. So I've been focusing on that particular alignment, but when I read this book, I became educated into the nature of that place in terms of the Sphinx. The Sphinx's gaze goes left towards the summer solstice and goes right to the winter solstice. And this is a specific angular relationship. And I had never connected that with the Sphinx before. But once I did, it was like a channel kind of opened up. So this is, now we're populating this equinox axis. What's come into my understanding is that Neptune is approaching, boom, the 0 Aries point of the zodiac. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a big sign of a ceremonial moment worldwide. I mean, this is the opportunity for, like it was back at harmonic convergence. This is I see this, and I see convergence on a global scale. And I don't know what role I'll play in that, but I believe I'm being called to kind of bring this information forward, and people can do with it what they will. But this is a one in, I forget, it's 150 years, 170 years. So this is one of the overarching civilizational kinds of moment. So Neptune, in the kind of astrology I'm fostering here, represents the pursuit of higher ideals and creative visions. It invites individuals to explore the mysteries of existence and to seek out the deeper, often elusive meanings of life. It really is about, connecting with the ancients through our symbology and through our sacred sites. At harmonic convergence, people went to sacred sites all over the world, and simultaneously at sunrise, communed with the sacred site, with each other, with the knowledge that's encoded into that particular place. So interestingly, Neptune was discovered mathematically rather than by a telescope. And that kind of gives I don't know, it opens that door into mathematics and says, the mathematics of astrology is a very fertile realm as well. So I've been paying more close attention to the different angular relationships that I've encountered as this Sphinx's gaze comes on. And here we are. It'll be March 30th, 2025, that Neptune will align exactly with the axis here. And it'll be in Aries for a short while, then briefly back into Pisces, and then back into Aries, and then it's on its journey. So my own journeys into what astrology brings are focused on my natal birth chart. So that's the mandala of my own personal selfhood, and that's been a reference point for me since the early 70s. Along with that, since 1972 has been this practice of keeping a lunation journal. So I'm keeping track of the phases of the moon on a day-to-day basis, and I'm journaling. My research ends up being in a journal format, a 3-ring binder. And every now and then I pop out like in the bottom corner here. This is a larger image that I created to explore this this span of the Sphinx's view. And it's what I call it now is the red zone. So this particular portion of the zodiac really has got my attention as an important area of focus. And so what might I find in that red zone? Well, I did this graphic at the bottom here. These are all degrees of the zodiac, the vertical lines. And I thought, well, who of, I have hundreds of birth charts. I started going through the birth charts. Who has placements, planetary placements in the red zone? The first person I come to in that was Steve, who just happens to have his sun at Pisces 30 degrees. So that was a very auspicious start for me in this whole investigation. And so now these are other characters that have showed up for one reason or another, some astrological planetary reason. And I'll be interested this will be my area of focus in my research over the next while, there's some kind of linkage wants to happen between all of these, or the works of these people and more people. But these are the ones that have stood out so far. So here we go. when you're Steve Bruce and you have your sun at 30 degrees of Pisces, there's a cosmic message for you. And then James Burgess is about to deliver it.
Pisces 30, the Great Stone Face. This is a reference to an aspect of some literature. Hawthorne was an American author who wrote about this great stone face. And the idea is that this rock formation had impressed people with the fact that it looked like a face, and that one day somebody would be born who resembled this face. And that person would be the greatest and noblest person of his age. And one day, a particularly ardent seeker, a young man, set out looking to find this great stone face so that he could identify the teacher whom he would follow. And there came a time when he saw the face. He had his journey, and he came to this goal of his life, and he'd spent a long time looking, and he saw the face, and he realized it actually looked like him. He was as close as you could get to looking like the face. And yet he was a very humble man, and walked away wondering if he could find a man who looked more like the great stone face than he did. Although that, in fact, would be impossible because he was very much the same. Now, the teaching of this Sabian symbol is that we do have to imagine the best that we can be personally. And in a sense, we do this by the process of modeling. We find somebody to emulate, and then when we reach a certain level with them, we find somebody else, and we continue to look for models of how to become. And yet there comes a time when actually we are as good as anyone is. And this final grasping of that fact is the biggest challenge, perhaps, for many, many people, perhaps most. It was for the Buddha. The last test, examination, the last challenge for the process of enlightenment for the Buddha was to assume that he was the Buddha, to claim that station in life. And Pisces 30 is telling us about that very, very difficult last step for most of us to take. Of course, on the highest level, this last step is to do with spiritual enlightenment. But on a scaled down level, perhaps, we all want something that we haven't got right now. Not all of us, perhaps, but most of us do. And this really determines our life course. Things are okay, but they could be a bit better. Or things are not okay, we need to correct it. Whatever, we can imagine something better. Now, rather than just wistfully notice it when you see it, what we're teaching here is that that's not enough. You have to walk like that person. You have to talk like that person. You have to act like that person and think like that person whom you idealize. And you can even get to the level where you can train your feelings so that you feel the same emotional condition that you would expect to feel were you that idealized being. And this is quite a challenge for us to do those things. In the Sufi tradition, in the West at least, the example of this is Hazrat Inayat Khan. And this man was phenomenally impressive, such that he went out for a walk one day when he was in New York, and the way that he walked was so impressive that it was reported on the front page of the New York Times by a reporter who saw him. Now, I took on this particular practice of trying to walk like my ideal and see what would happen. And a very lovely thing happened to me quite by accident. I was in Riga in Latvia, and I saw a beggar on the street and wanted to give the beggar a coin. And I didn't want to establish a relationship between us of less than and more than. So I kind of tried to walk towards her with a certain amount of grace. And I gave her the coin and we smiled. And it was a lovely moment that I remember to this day, many years later. And then I walked away and met my friends. And later, perhaps a year later, one of the people that was with me on that day commented upon the fact that during that moment when I was walking towards the beggar, she was reminded of the walk of Hazrat Inayat Khan. It was a lovely validation for me. I felt good to hear that. And I think what we have to do is to remember that humility is graceful and a lovely oil that greases society and smooths your way through difficulties. Humility is wonderful up to a point, but beyond that point, you would be foolish to deny a certain majesty of being, a nobility of character within you. And you cannot idealize that in another person and just wistfully wish that you had been that way. That won't work. You won't ever get there then. You have to understand that you have that within you. Each of us does. Whatever we can imagine, certainly whatever we can idealize is the best version of a person. We have that within us somewhere. Even in the realms of the higher self, in the realms of potential rather than actualized being, we have it. And we can't expect it to be given to us, gifted to us. It won't be. Neither freedom nor power can be given. Each must be taken. And here we have an example of where somebody is so humble that they won't even find the confidence, the faith to take their possibility, their potential, grasp it and realize it. This is the mystery of this sign. Grasp your highest potential, your potential. Walk as though you have already mastered the highest ideal within you. Talk that way, act that way, feel that way, and think that way. Become that person as though you're acting. And eventually this fake it till you make it principle brings about the result that you desire.
Fake it till you make it. Walk like an Egyptian. So we're now getting into some of the Egyptian mythology, which actually Steve and I have talked about this Aker figure from Egyptian iconography. And this little poetic evocation of Aker, I think, is exactly appropriate to what we're experiencing with this alignment. At dawn and dusk, Aker stands. Twin lions guard the shifting sands. Horizon's keeper, night and day, guiding souls along their way. So we have Aker and the Egyptian mythology entering the picture, and how to connect that to our astrology in this case. Well, there you are. The Aker image is of the two lines back to back, and then this angular separation and this red circle. It just totally resonates with this notion of the red zone. So pushing on, and this is, part of what I'm sharing with you is my approach to research and how am I embracing astrology and using it. Well, in recent history, since AI has come on the scene, I've been exploring AI as a source of text for different concepts. And here we go. This is a full page here of, Steve reaching out to explore his astrological heritage. Here's a gift. Natal sun at 30 degrees. And this is what the chat GPT has to say. As I was saying earlier, I've got a problem with the, oh, that's not working. Okay, sorry about this. I don't know. Okay, technical glitch there. I can't move I have your images on my right-hand side here, and it blocks the text. But I'll give it a try without that there. We see in the image this direct alignment with a natal sun at the 0 Aries. Neptune is on the scene, and it's at the 30th degree of any sign, and the 1st degree of the next sign are called the anaretic degrees. And these are especially potent portions of the journey around the zodiac. And in this case, we have the whole of the zodiacal energetic coming to a seed ending with this Pisces 30 position. So it's the culmination of Piscean energy astrologically. Sun is the person's core identity and purpose. And in Pisces, signifies a personality that is sensitive, intuitive, and compassionate. At the 30th degree, there's an abundance of Piscean energy, suggesting that the person embodies the qualities associated with this sign. And I certainly see you, Steve, in that way. It's sensitive, intuitive, compassionate. This is just who the man is. Spiritual depth and awareness. There you go. And for you, this is emphasized because of the anaretic placement. Individual may have an inclination towards spiritual pursuits. Yes. Meditation. Yes. Mysticism. Yes. And attuned to the subtle energies of the universe. And I don't know anybody who gets more out of going out into nature and having amazing encounters, whether it's eagles in the sky or it's a big lake or river or the ocean and so on. So that's just, again, who Steve is, not only in potentiality but in actuality. Creative expression and imagination. We've got the carvings, the little what do you call them again? The names anyway. I'm forgetting the names. Loki.
Kopi and Franklin.
There you go, Kopi and Franklin.
Yeah.
So bringing this artistry to bear, and it's just wonderful to witness and to be a part of. And we have empathy and compassion emphasized, and I certainly have experienced that with Steve, and as I know you have as well. An innate ability to understand and tune into the emotions of others, making them natural caregivers, counselors, or whatever else. Now, this final one, this preparation for transition and renewal, I think this is really important in this regard, because with Neptune coming to this final degree of the zodiac, Neptune ruling Pisces, there's no more Piscean a moment than what we're witnessing right here. So this is a time of, or could be, if one goes for it, as Burgess was saying, you gotta reach for it. You gotta bring yourself into it, and in doing so, you're breaking through for a pathway, and others can benefit from that periodically. Individuals at this degree may feel a sense of closure in Piscean matters, preparing them for a new chapter in their lives. So a very auspicious moment here. This transition may involve a renewed sense of identity, purpose, or direction as they embrace the pioneering energy of Aries and embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. So entering into this new cycle, which will last way beyond our lifetimes, we're all in the same boat. This is Neptune is calling us into a place of renewal. And that's why right now visioning is so important. And it's not necessarily getting down and doing it on the ground. It's we're in that visionary zone, and letting go. This is the seed portion of the cycle. Letting go of all non-essentials. Like really bear down on what is it do I actually need? What is my soul calling me towards here? So auspicious moment indeed. Now, I've discovered that my asteroid Bacchus is anaretic in Pisces as well. So this is another place where Steve and I resonate, just like we have the same sun-moon angle. Here we have these, we both have important placements at Pisces 30. And when I think of, how have I embraced this archetype so far? Well, I have been involved in years of ceremony. I go back to 1976 when with a connection to the Hopi Indians from the American Southwest, I participated in and I initiated in my local area, which was Calgary, a healing ceremony for planet Earth, is what they called it at the time. And that initial ceremony actually was so powerful in my inner experience that I committed to doing an annual Earth healing event. And I think I did, haven't done them for a number of years, but there were 25 years of ceremony in that regard. So that to me, that kind of resonates with what Bacchus is about, this fullness of life and this connection to the natural order, to the abundance of the Mother Earth. And so here I am now at this particular time, really meditating on this archetype, and it can be there I am yesterday. I take a head of lettuce over to my neighbor, and he offers me a glass of wine. Well, normally I wouldn't really accept a glass of wine in the afternoon. It just wouldn't be part of my routine. But this archetype, because I was aware of it, it came into my awareness at that moment. I said, sure. So there I am holding a glass of red wine and drinking with my neighbor. So that's the nature of this, attuning to archetypes, is that they can show up instantaneously, and you've got another level of engagement that opens up. Although Roman god Bacchus is primarily associated with wine, agriculture, and fertility, he was also the patron of the arts and protector of the theater. And there was a festival known as the Bacchanalia, which is what the painting on the left depicts, and the Bacchus down below here on the right. So this was a wonderful, well, it was called the Bacchanalia, and Bacchus is the Roman version of the figure Dionysus. So just so you make that connection. So and there are the Dionysian mysteries, just so as there are the Bacchus Bacchanalia mysteries. And I'm just new to all of this, so this is me just kind of tuning in and enjoying what I'm seeing. I mean, there's this wonderful abundance, and especially of the feminine. And and I looked into my past, and well, where may this have shown up in my life already? Well, there we are in my healing ceremony for planet Earth. The 25 years of ceremony, and we were very much just it wasn't like there was revelry so much as just really honoring the Great Mother and the Mother Earth, and how important it is to be in right relationship with the Earth. And but there's a thread that takes me back, and now looking ahead, it's like, and as I'm sharing earlier, this Neptune at 0 Aries to me is really significant, and I'm seeing a global ceremonial event. So I think I'm pretty much wired for that. So I'll be doing something. So for the last word, we're at the full moon of the Temple of Eagles. I thought a good time to, we still have 2 weeks in this particular temple. And these keywords are appropriate to this time. Good old number 7, mysterious number 7, the one that organizes the others into pairs. So you get the 7-leveled pyramid with 13 numbers altogether. 7, the human need for meaning, self-discovery, peace of the soul, meditation, prayer, retreat, places of worship, spiritual growth taking precedence over materialistic tendencies, introduction and reintroduction to other worlds beyond Earth. And then we have keywords for men, the hieroglyph. Again, I can't see all these, but I think we've got leadership, inheritance, management, commitment, understanding, planetary, I'm not sure, gatherings, dreams, gods and goddesses, global consciousness, compassionate service. So these are prompts for us in our lives if we're wanting to absorb this sacred knowledge. These are like we prompt the AI to deliver certain response. We can do the same with keywords like this, and just meditate on them and contemplate what's being suggested at this time. What is the great the Sphinx, perhaps, and the feathered serpent? What do they have? What are they offering us in this moment? The keywords can often be an assist for that. Now, there's also the shadow side to take into consideration. And drawing now from the Mayan Oracle, which came out in the 80s, shadow wisdom for the Temple of Eagles, being obsessed with service to others, being the rescuer, saving others, not being able to say no, loss of hope and meaning, feelings of futility. Now, the way we can flip that, it's suggested that we learn to temper service with nourishment and rest. Believe in yourself. Follow your own visions and dreams. Remember the purpose and commitment you have in the larger pattern. And there you go.
Yay.
Right on, Karen. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Wow. That is a mouthful. That's a big bite.
Well, you start wearing a t-shirt like that, you're gonna get bigger and bigger bites.
Yeah.
Got a
Yeah.
direct line to the Hunab coup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wow. Thanks for bringing that forward. That's amazing.
Mhm.
How that stone face showed up
Oh yeah. Yeah, tell us more about
when
that.
I was, just kind of in contemplation, where am I at this moment? And it's my favorite beach locally here.
Right.
And I walk out and I just start taking photos. And I turn and I just see this big wall and decide to take a picture of it. There's no, I'm not seeing anything until I stop and then I look at the photograph.
Oh wow.
And then I start to see, as you notice that face on the left, but then
Yep.
I also notice that seated Mayan figure in the center of it. It looks like that. There's a couple of thoughts on that, what it's actually doing. Is it flying or is it going inward? So yeah, that just started to show up out of that stone wall, stone face.
Wow.
Neat.
And yeah, there's a lot of, wonderful insights that showed up like that in this belief in oneself.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, I can be a guide. And then I can hear this voice going, oh, you can. And so that's that belief in oneself. And where it's saying, fake it till you make it, emulate others. But then there's also this being aware of comparison, because comparison is a killer, right? It's like, don't compare myself to others because everybody's unique.
Exactly.
So what I was finding that I have a mantra every time I go out the door. It's interesting too. I just had this exercise of, I think Ellen shared it with me, that standing tall with my hands on my hips and just taking
the
this,
power postures.
the power posture, right?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And stand tall and feel that energy of standing tall. So my mantra when I walk out the door is accepting everyone as they are.
Beautiful.
And I've just found when I walk out the door and I've stated that, it's amazing how life becomes easier because the mind isn't just judging every action or everything on the outside happening. It's just allowing it to be. So it's
Nice.
combined with that power pose. It's very powerful.
Mhm.
But yeah, when you're talking about that anaretic degree, that's the first time I've heard it stated that way. Like I knew I was on the cusp,
Right.
but this all makes sense of being this sensation of feeling I'm a dreaming pioneer. But the key for the dreaming pioneer is to take the action. So with this, that's key. It's all tying together with what's happening now, not to isolate myself, not to just go into this thoughts, but to keep taking action. So with the puppets, I took action and I found a new wood source. So I've got some new beautiful wood came to me.
Right on.
I found a bandsaw where my Pisces was going, oh, I need to make a friend who has a bandsaw.
Mhm.
I mean, there's all sorts of saws on this island. There's all sorts of wood. So my Pisces is going, oh, okay, I need to make a friend. The first person I contact, a flute maker at a spirit fair, the first person I contact has a bandsaw.
Mhm.
So it didn't take much. It just took the action to step out and introduce myself.
Yeah. Right on.
And now it's interesting, this month has all been about threes and this triptych, as we ended on the new moon, the triptych. There's a lot of threes showing up. So the third component that I'm open to the universe is receiving help with costuming of the puppets. Like I'm not a seamstress, and
Right.
you talked about theater, and I mean that's a broad topic, theater, and I don't have to do it all. I do the parts I enjoy, like the carving and assembly, but I can ask for help on the costuming. So that's out there now.
Nice.
So hopefully that'll be the third component. But I found it interesting, the symbol that you showed for Bacchus looks like a cup with 3 circles in it.
Right.
I go, well, are those grapes or the 3 circles? And then it's very fascinating too to stand in my power, because I hear wine and enjoyment, and I haven't, just out of personal choice and getting older, I want to stay awake. And I found, as you said, in the afternoon drinking, I would just fall asleep. I mean, I've done the tours of the vineyards and all that and had a blast. And then in 2007, actually, I had my last beer with my dad and then just let alcohol drop away because I want to stay awake.
Right on.
And it was just a choice of that's what I want. So yeah, it's just fascinating, all these things showing up. And yeah, thanks for including me in the
Oh, my pleasure.
group. It's yeah. I can say I'm quite fascinated by it all, for sure.
Mm.
And in the words of Sophia's, that's the end of my presentation.
Yeah.
So, John Cleese from Monty Python,
Mhm.
and he's one of the most spiritual, smart people I've ever come across. He used to have a program called Spiritual TV, and he did that, and I just flashed on this in terms of the fake it till you make it. Remember his ministry of silly walks?
Mhm.
Say walk like this, and he would do some crazy thing, right? And he got
Right.
everybody doing it.
He
So
got what?
got everybody doing it.
Mhm.
Walk like this, and then he'd do like a high kick, or some crazy walk, and he got everybody doing it, right? And so
Mhm.
he's pretty smart, he's pretty cagey, he's still around,
Yeah,
right?
he's amazing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm thinking about this in terms of that fake it till you make it. You know, like I'm dealing with a significant health issue right now. And if I fake it till I make it, I'm just going to imagine myself healthy and being able to do my gardening and my, you know, all the other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I appreciate the fake it till you make it, and I appreciate John Cleese, and I appreciate just the cosmic giving me that little tidbit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good to see you back here on the screen with us.
Mm-hmm.
It took a little while, but we'll learn. We'll start earlier next time.
Yeah.
So I know your presentation had all those megaliths in it, and I watched that video that you posted to the Facebook group.
Right.
And wow, again, that's just opened up another
Exactly.
doorway.
Yes. And there was the red zone showing up.
Yeah, and all those three triangles, or the three squares rather, and then creating the triangles and all. And then we were talking about mathematical discovery of Neptune, and now this mathematics. Just things that show up. So I went on a walk in what I call Ritzville. It's I think the nicest area in Nanaimo, and all these beautiful gardens and everything that people have done, and I just go there and enjoy them. Thank you very much.
Right on.
And walk through, and these things show up. That's where that Vitruvian Man symbol showed up.
Oh, yeah.
And so I watched that megalith documentary, and about the placement of all these around the world based on that triangular setup, and finding geometric north. And I'm walking in the area, and they have the little neighborhood library. And I said, oh, I'll see what's inside there. You know, of course, there's all the romance novels. And then there's this big coffee table book. It's like the Annapolis Book of Seamanship. I go, wow.
Wow.
I take that out, and there's everything about sailboats and boats and knots and tides and weather and Beaufort scale. And I go, okay, thank you. And then I noticed when I'm carrying it with me on my walk, there's loose pages. I go, oh, well, maybe the binding's coming apart. I'll look at it when I get home. And then when I get home, it's somebody had stapled together 5 pages. And I look at it, and the title is Functions, Formulas, and Solution of Triangles. I go, okay. And it took me back to high school, where in trigonometry, the actual teacher in my class was Greek. And I just, through my whole life, I've said, trigonometry is Greek to me, like not understanding. And I always said, if he would have just taken us sailing, we were on the ocean, if he would have taken us sailing and I could experience trigonometry, I may have fallen in love with it. But trying to figure it out, like even now looking at this page and trying to figure it out off this page, I go, what? It's just doesn't. But I just love how the first, it's table, and then the first article, it's not number 1, it's not number 2, but it's number 3. 3. by use of a circle whose radius is unity. I go, okay, thank you. That's all I need to know. It's just about unity. So I was like, yeah, what that's saying what we focus on expands. Well, it was just, I made the effort to watch that megalith. And oh, that's fascinating. Go for a walk and I get delivered something that I've always desired. Like I've desired this, to know more nautical terms, for example. So I'd like to know, because I love being on a ship or a boat. And then here, this gets presented, that desire is fulfilled. And yeah, I've got this book. Took my chair to the beach and sat there and put my feet up on a log and just opened the book and was reading the book and watching the ships go by at the same time. It was a lot of fun. So again, that's the end of my presentation. Whoever would like to go next? I'm done.
I have a question, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
In the picture with the rock, and next to the rock there is a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this lovely little corner around. I mean, I just met, because I was like listening to something about trees, and that they are our partners. Trees are, and everybody should adopt a tree. And I was just listening to something like that. And this tree just jumped out, which is next to the face. I mean, we just saw it all the time. So there is this tree, beautiful tree, and it looks like stairs going down to the water, or to the wood stuff there. But I thought, can you reach this tree? Or is it like an island or something where you can't get at? Because
no, there is a
I
trail.
thought this is your place. This is like your Bodhi tree. This is your Buddha tree. You know, that's where you can sort of take a seat and also communicate with the tree, and the tree gives you energy and oxygen, and it takes also away all your negative energy. So this tree, it just stood out to me. It was like, wow. And around it, there's a little place even, so you can sort of settle.
It's a beautiful spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's access, there's a trail.
And you're on top of your face, it's like amazing, amazing place.
Yeah, there's actually a bench up there to sit.
So it's your power spot.
Yeah, I can feel it. It's
wow.
As you say that, that's a Gary oak tree.
It's an oak tree.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's beautiful.
And it's a spot that sits out and it looks out across to the mainland. And even if that place gets busy, people take walks on the path there and takes their dogs and even, but not many people go up that path to the top. Not many people go up there. So it's actually
a special place. It's your place.
A bit secluded when people have to make the effort to get up there.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for that reminder.
Yeah, please.
When I took that photo, I went up there and I stood there for the longest time, just looking and all.
It's your tree. Adopt that tree. and have this tree talk to you.
Okay.
And communicate. I think this is what the message is, what I sort of bring in today, because I was really intrigued by that because of the tree story. It's like they are partners. yeah, adopt a tree. I
Hmm.
thought, wow, how beautiful. And you can all bring everything you have problems or whatever, you bring them to the tree, and the tree takes it all, sorts it all out for you, like with you know, trees. Oh, they're in partnership with humans.
Mhm.
So, and when you adopt one tree, then it's your tree, and he loves it. The tree loves it. You will see how the tree opens up to you when you sort of see it as a person or a living being,
Hmm.
and you communicate with it, and you see all these other animals maybe living in there or coming and visit, and kind, you know, you open up to the spirit of the tree.
Mhm.
Well,
Well,
see,
that's
wasn't it the parking lot for that area that you found the eagle feather?
Yeah.
oh wow,
There you go.
Yeah, that's my
it's a
beach, and
magic place.
that's where I found the eagle feather
That's your magic
Just-
place.
the other day. Yeah, and that's where I sit and take my chair and read my seamanship book, and
Cool.
yeah, and that's where I take the puppets to sand them out on the beach, so the dust, you know, I stay upwind and
Put them
let this.
into the tree and make some pictures for us.
Mhm.
Yeah, take them to the tree and make them
Yeah,
live in the tree. I mean,
yeah,
it's a very beautiful theme, and
yeah. It's that.
kids would love that also if you make a video or something.
Yeah, it's just right in alignment with what's happening. I mean, this between new moon and now is when I took Sophia's ashes out to the beach to
All right,
to the to Long Beach,
all right.
and on the drive back, well, there was a lot of trickster energy going on, but coming back, there's Cathedral Grove, and it's right on the highway, and there's parking spots on both sides of the highway. And you know, this is mid-June now, and I had expected traffic. I didn't endure any traffic out and coming back, very minimal. I
Mhm.
get to this spot, it's usually jammed. You can't find a parking spot.
Wow.
Coming back, I come in and there's nobody there. There's
Reserved.
one
Wow.
other, it's 6 in the evening. It's still light out.
Hmm.
There's one car parked on the other side, and that's it. I pull in and I walk into this forest of 500 to 800-year-old Douglas fir trees.
Wow.
And I walk in after dispersing the ashes. I walk in and suddenly I have the sensation that I'm alone
Wow.
in the forest.
Wow.
I walked the whole, there was nobody in there, nobody, and that is just so rare. Every time I drive through there, it's packed.
Yeah.
And I got to feel this aloneness with these trees, yet
Beautiful.
in what you're saying, and actually Ellen and I talked about this yesterday too, that
Uh-huh.
I'm not alone. We're not alone in nature.
No.
So maybe it was alone with the human experience there,
Mhm.
but I wasn't alone.
The trees are there.
Yeah.
They are beings. They are definitely we are in symbiosis. This is our
Mhm.
symbiotic energy.
Mhm.
We are not aware. We are still not aware of it.
Mhm.
But and the
We
negativity
are.
is all chopping down trees. So we have to sort of sort that out in our mind and in our heart, how we are connected to the trees.
Yeah.
And
And
not
That's
then
all
only
that.
we
That's
get
all
peace.
That's all that unity.
The Creator, all my relations.
Mhm.
What did you say, Sari? Sari, you
Lauren just reminded me, we were watching, I think it was on Ian McGilchrist's thing about the brain, and he was talking to a Cree elder, and he says that when they pray, they address all my relations, and that includes the trees, that includes the rocks, that includes all that is. All my relations. And it just, when I heard that, it just touched my heart, you know, just like, and I've been thinking in those terms ever since. So you were with all your relations in Cathedral Grove. Yeah. Neat.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, connecting with the ancients.
Mhm.
And when we talk about our ancestors, of course, there's a lot of the indigenous ancestors, but if I look at my ancestors and being a Bruce, that's Scottish. And our crest is Latin. It says fuimus, which means we have been.
Ah.
It's like, okay, I've seen it. Now what? And then his story, of course, Wallace, he was the warrior that went after the English, but Bruce was the guy who, the king who brought he was in the cave and he saw the spider web. And the spider was weaving this web. And they got the idea. He says, wait a minute. I need to bring these clans together to defend ourselves from the English invasion. And that was his job, and he did that. And then they sent the English packing back to England. But he was the connector. So if I stop and look at my ancestry, and I can go, oh, what can I learn from that ancestor? So
Andy.
Hello.
One thing that has sort of stayed with me throughout this whole thing, and it goes back to your special place there, Steve, and hearing Steve Burgess talk about 30 degrees Pisces there. It came to me, I don't know if you've done this, but have you looked and seen your face in the rock?
I'd say I would, once I was pointed out, the one on the left, that I said, oh, I like the mustache. That would be the part that maybe I recognized myself. I did notice this face, but I said, oh yeah, if I look further, it almost looks like a Egyptian style beard. It's long type. So that's what I noticed in the rock.
Well, to me, there was the sense of the energetic connection to that the rock and who you are, and Barbara's talk here too about the tree and that whole everything I've heard about your special place there. There's such a strong, anyway, that's what sits with me. Look, Steve, looking at it, even just being there, or looking at that rock, or just being in that energetic, just to me, it just felt, I feel the power, or there's something powerful that I feel when I think of that, or hear these.
What's
Yeah.
coming for me is that there's, at the end of the path, it kind of goes between blackberry bushes down, and it's this small little cove. And when I stand in there, I just feel totally protected.
Wow.
So there's a feeling of protection in this little cove, almost feeling held by the walls on both sides. But it looks out across, the Strait of Georgia over to the Sunshine Coast.
Wow.
But then to go up on top and stand on that area by the tree and with the bench there, it's wide open vision. I mean, in the distance, I can see the skyscrapers of Burnaby way, way far away. But then there's also the coastal range, and on a clear day, I can see Mount Baker. So there's lots of wonderful things to observe from up there, and feel this expansive feeling. So there's a protection down below, and there's the expansive feeling up top.
Yeah.
So thanks for that reminder, Barbara, that
Yeah, wonderful. I think it also looks like a painting to me, because also the face, you can see kind of Picasso. You see your face from one side, from direct and from the side, so you can see your two perspectives and your face there, and then on your head, more or less, there's this tree where you sort of, it's like the brain area is where the tree. It's so crazy, but I like it. It's like it turns me on. It's a nice painting, and now you talking about a cove underneath. I would paint that cove as well. I would include, even you can't see it on the picture, but when you paint a painting, you could put this rock and put the cave a little higher, so there is this connection. Maybe the cave is the heart, because
what's beautiful, it's that rock face is surrounded by little fissures that go up, and they're filled with succulents.
Oh my God, how beautiful!
That blossom, and it's just all these different colors are in there, and it's just
it's like a motive for painting, definitely.
Yeah, it's very. So I think I want to get I'm taking these photographs with my phone. I have a feeling my next step is actually to get a camera.
All right. Yes.
Because I can't zoom, and there's a lot of things that I can see, but I can't capture.
Yeah, I mean, if you treat yourself to a nice, this is my next level as well. I want to have a camera. So it's like, treat yourself to one, if
Yeah.
Why not?
That's what I'm feeling.
It's magic. Or you get a second hand because somebody doesn't want to deal with one anymore or so.
Yeah.
But it's like really like, and I can see also the tree with the leaves on top is like hair. It is like connecting with the air and the cosmic energy, the leaves, it's fantastic.
I can't help but laugh when we were talking about drinking, or Sophia and I were in Hawaii, and we arrived and we went for champagne breakfast, and it was like bottomless champagne.
Oh, cool.
And then we tried to, and she took a picture of me, and it's, the picture has a tiki torch coming out of the top of my head. And whenever you say there's something coming out of the top of my head, I laugh because I just see this champagne stupor with
How beautiful.
headdress.
My son, he buys me cider, and then I put it in a nice glass, and I pretend that it's champagne, and I love it. It's a nice ceremony, which I created for myself to connect with my crazy side, or with my, like, luxury life of drinking expensive champagne or something, and it gives me a good feeling, like the 2 or 3 zips, and it's like champagne time.
Yeah, that's my.
It's a good trick.
That's my apple juice and Pellegrino.
Yes, something sparkly, and
sparkly apple juice.
Yeah, nice. It's so nice because we can go also into the past and bring all these memories of Bacchus back in and not feel down, because that's, sometimes we get miserable just because of nothing, because somebody just threw all his dirt on you, and then you forgot about how nice life is. So it's good to bring this champagne spirit into the now.
Yeah. It's okay to treat ourselves with a camera.
Yeah. As well, yes. Oh, cool. Yeah. And that's good for creative people. This is a good way, and that brings the now onto a total different level. And that's, again, like Dwayne says, we have to do this jump. We have to be able to let go, to feel ridiculous or something, like the brain says, oh, this is ridiculous, why do you do this? No, it's not. It's for your soul. It's your soul wanting that from you, to do something ridiculous or something out of the norm.
Yeah, experience something new.
Yeah, and get out of the nitty-gritty thing. Because that's in anything. If you paint or do anything, it gets boring when it's like a routine. For me, it's like that. I mean, whenever it gets boring, I have to change and do something else.
Yeah.
And then come back to the joy.
Well, there we go. A sound. Have you always had that, Dwayne?
I arrived yesterday after about 3 months.
Oh my God.
You treated yourself to.
That's the camera.
You treated yourself to a spaceship. Oh.
Yeah, isn't that incredible?
Wonderful.
Yes.
Lovely.
These are new, like these are 21st century drums that have emerged. I think the first one was in Germany.
Wow.
Now they're available.
What are they called? What are they called? Do you know what the name?
A hand pan is one name.
Right. Yes, that's what I remember.
For the type of drum, and then there's all these different companies. But this was less than $300. Most of the ones I see advertised are like $3,000.
Exactly.
So exactly. I thought, no, I'm not going to enter at that level. But And I've been looking forward to this. The first time I heard one of these, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And not long ago, there was a couple that I saw on a YouTube video that were playing together. They each had one.
Mm.
I was completely enchanted. And I got to have one of those.
Wow.
You know,
Good.
yeah,
True.
it's just going to be fun.
Just let us hear something.
Are you going to drum us out?
Fine. But we still got 15
Well,
minutes.
it doesn't have to be out, but are you going to drum for us?
Yeah, cool.
You know what I like, if anybody has ideas about where we could go from here, you know, I don't think it's about me doing a presentation every time.
Right.
You know, it's time to kind of share the load on that, maybe. I would certainly like to see more emphasis, or the emphasis on fleshing out the lightning path.
Hmm.
That would be topical, but
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good idea. I think, yeah, you deserve a break.
thank you.
Okay.
You put a lot of effort in there, and like I say, I appreciate what you did for Sophia.
Mhm.
That was.
But yeah, where to go next?
Mhm.
Seems
With,
like your presentations have certainly, there's been seeds and things that have just these, just the conversation here today after your
absolutely.
presentation. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely been the catalyst maybe, but where
Yeah.
And I'm also like totally on the same track, Dwayne.
Yeah.
And I think I posted that video, but I sent it to you because it's exactly what you're into. I was listening to that for my tarot reading presentations, which I'm going to make, because I want to bring the history of tarot in expression of what I know. It's not much, but it's like something, and I'm finding things, and I'm reconnecting, relocating, and it's also coming to that point that the zodiac signs are really like in us, which is like also like the tarot is in me, and this is why I can read tarot cards. And it's all you're talking about Jung, but he was not the first one. And now I'm at the Rosicrucian kind of line, which is amazing. And I'm my next, well, I have the first level of the misty history, I call it, from the tarot. I have it done more or less. I'm pushing myself into that, but the next one is already there. It appears on the way. It's like you're saying, things are being put in your way, in front of your feet, so you can sort of bring them on. And I have something interesting to bring on, which I will, of course, post in my channel, but I can also sort of share it with us here.
Oh, can you present it at the new moon for us?
I have the first chapter is done, which is like maybe coming out after in the balsamic, or in the next phases. So till the next, yeah, could be, if I get, because it's already there. I just have to write it down. And also writing down is I don't do it. I'm just a channel. I just have to put myself in the state of openness, not being bothered about making mistakes. I have to have my things ready, and then I can do it. And then you have to just position yourself.
Can you connect it to your lightning path experience?
Probably so, because the whole channel comes out of that.
Yeah, it
This
sounds
is what,
like
that's why I started it, because of you guys.
Empowered human.
You are.
Of the empowered human, that would be you, darling.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that as you were saying, Steve, like because this is where we started and we've all been, on the lightning path with Dwayne. So what's the connection or what does that tie take?
Yeah,
know,
what did fall
take
into your
us.
place?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
What
Where's that?
falls into your lab, it's almost like it falls into your lab. And I was really surprised because I didn't see the Rosicrucian so much involved in the tarot, but definitely I can make the connection now because I can see it. And I have this tarot deck from Aleister Crowley, who's totally connected with that, but nobody talked about it yet. So I make the try, I take the risk. It's a risk to maybe be stupid or something, but I'll try.
Yeah, you fake it till you make it.
Here we go.
That's the theme. Actually, that was
Yeah, and we'll support you in that endeavor.
Yes.
Thank you. And if I need help, I will ask if there's like something if there's something missing, but I'll try, this is like, you have to take the risk and things will come.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm
didn't
just
know.
not quite ready to do a presentation on trigonometry, so thank you.
Oh, come on, Steve. Come on.
No, not yet.
Well, I like the energy that's happening here. It just seems to be, things growing. There's stuff happening.
Yeah.
It feels like under the Bodhi tree, isn't it? I feel like I sit with you guys under a big tree, and we are, everybody's sort of bringing their toys and under the tree, because it feels really like a protection from being in this group, kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And can I just read there's one statement that jumps out to me on here from the Temple of the Eagles here with everything that's going on and really connecting to Steve's sacred spot in there. It's what you're saying, Barbara, and it's each of us is a visible pillar of the etheric temples now grounding themselves on earth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, beautiful.
The pillars, there's also some mention with the pillars in this, what I was seeing. This is like interesting. Yeah.
Just like I'm feeling that with Steve, like, with Steve in this place and Barbara with you and Dwayne's, like, it's just like,
Yeah.
Each of us.
I got to go sit on that bench.
Bring some picnic and some champagne.
My eagle feather needs to land on the bench and sit there.
Use it, yes. Have your puppets play with the feather.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Spine. I'll show you here.
Yeah, let's see. The drums.
I made sandals. He's got sandals now.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
Great.
He's almost dressed.
And he's got a tear in its eye.
Oh,
see it?
Wow.
But cool. Yeah, very moon.
It's a clear acrylic with sparkles in it. So the tears are sparkles of the good emotion of grief. So
Wow.
and now he's got big hands to either reach out to receive or to give.
Yeah, and he can take the feather.
Yeah. And now I just need to help with the costume. It's gonna have a hood.
You have to put the mic on the music, Dwayne.
Yeah.
The music is not you. We cannot hear it. I can't hear it. It's like put it on the mic.
He was holding back while we talk, but we
Oh,
can
no,
hear the
I've been
background.
playing- I've been playing steady. I thought you could hear a little bit.
No, I don't hear, and I see you moving, and I hear some sound.
There's a little bit, yeah.
You need the mic.
Yeah, apparently it's hard to pick up instruments from Zoom for some reason.
Ah,
Okay. Well, I'll play around with that, see if I can get it to work.
yeah, next time we can start with the music thing. That would be also nice presentation. I mean, it doesn't have to be intellectual. It also can be music, or like Joanne with your poem. I just like the way you're reading, you know, like what you said about the eagle is so beautiful.
Mhm.
She just picked it out so nicely, and it's like I love it when somebody can read poetry in the right way.
Mhm.
Maybe that's European kind of thing, but I just enjoyed the stops and making it sort of important, which words are important, and because that creates the picture in my mind also. When she talked about the eagles, and you know, you made it so one could get into that space. Not like da 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 nada. This is like you know, you have to put your soul into poetry. That's also something nice we could do, like in just to start something off. That's one suggestion, because I like
Yeah,
poetry.
thank you.
Right on.
I love
I
it.
like that.
Yeah, if somebody likes,
Poetry, a reading.
yeah, that would be really nice.
I guess you lost me sort of mentioning about the eagles, but were you referring to just the last statement I read?
Yeah.
About, yeah, okay.
Say it again, say it again.
Each of us is a visible pillar of etheric temples now grounding themselves on earth.
Wow. If this is not powerful, I mean, just to visualize a picture to that,
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying is incredible.
Yeah. I feel like standing tall and then taking a seat.
Wow. Well, you know, Steve, I really identified with that too, like, you know, going for a walk and staying tall and going in with the theme of faking it till you make it. And I've just, I don't know, recently been doing that too. Like when I go for a walk, it's like I just feel so much taller, and somehow I'm just the energy just kind of almost taking me for a walk. And yeah,
Beautiful.
and it just seemed, and then here's another statement I was reading. By simply embodying love and light, you become the one who creates the miracle on earth.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
This is wonderful, Joanne.
And it's brought us right to the 2-hour point. What a great way to end things.
Ah, beautiful.
So
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, love to you all.
Thank you,
for
Ellen.
being around.
Beautiful, beautiful time together. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's gonna be. It's just the beginning. Thank you.
thank you.
Folks.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Enjoy.
Bye all.
Bye.